What's good, YouTube? Lottie, humble to the bone. ACTB Lottie. We're gonna talk about religion today. We're gonna talk about monotheistic religions, polytheistic religions, and we're gonna talk about science in the Bible. And I just want people to have a greater understanding of just, things that be happening, and how each religion kind of corroborates each other, but also the variations in religion, which, makes it a religion basically. Because, even with Christianity, you have like different sects of just Christians and shit. So, yeah, we're gonna get right into it today. So, when it comes to religion, see, there's an issue I have with religion. And I read the Bible, I've read the Quran, I've even studied like Eastern texts like Hinduism and, things of that nature. The problem with monotheistic religion is, well, I don't even want to say problem because I don't want people to click off this video for the things I'm saying. I want y'all to really just bear with me and actually use your mind, because right now y'all out of your minds right now y'all out of your minds. I just seen this video yesterday on Facebook about this lady. She was like basically saying y'all give more praise to Jesus Christ than y'all do your own husband who's actually bringing in the food, things like that, or whatever the case may be. It may be a female, whatever, blah blah blah. If it applies, applies. If it doesn't, let it slide. But you feel me? Like, it's just shit like that. Just be like, damn, And I used to believe in God and, Jesus and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as I got older, I woke up to what was going on. And just by studying and reading more, like even in your Bible, like the problem I have with Christians mainly is they don't actually read their Bible. And if you read the Bible, you'll realize like it's certain shit that be going on. Like, boom, in the Bible, they say like we came down to earth. Like, God is a title, for one. God is a title, right? And if you do the translations, you get Elohim, and Elohim is a group. It's a title. So you got the Elohim, which is basically a group of angels who came down and descended to earth. But from another aspect, because you got the firmament, and the firmament, boom, all right, boom. The firmament is basically what was there before, and the firmament is separated by the water. So boom, right? Say it's a sun. This is the sun, right? And then there's waters above it, and there's waters below it. So the firmament was pretty much split, because before it was just submerged, and it's triple darkness of space. Before order is chaos. Y'all need to understand that, for one, because it has to take the universe like God. It has to take creation to realize certain things about itself, which is why we're here we are. And I'm gonna get to that by the end of this video, about chaos and order, and explaining the duality and how it really relies upon itself to do what it's doing. I know that may be kind of confusing to some people, but just bear with me. Anyway, boom, you got the firmament, you got the waters above, you got the waters below. Split, boom. Let us make man in our image. Meaning that let us, so obviously it's not just one person, it's a group of people, make man in our image. Meaning, if I'm making man in our image, then that means I already have the physicality of man, right? So see, it gets hard to talk about this, because I know some people don't want to go back before the Bible, because 2,000 years ago, blah, 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 blah. Y'all gotta understand, the world didn't start just 2,000 years ago. You feel me? Like, the world been going on, you feel me? 2,000 years is just, when Jesus or whatever came about, and Christianity and all that shit basically came into play. Became more prominent, at least. So, yeah, and then, yeah, we'll just get past that for a little bit, but I hope y'all just understood that for what it was. So, these people didn't just come like from beyond already there. They came from like the earth. they came from the earth, like one dimensional, like a dot, like remember I was talking about the sun? Think about that sun as a black hole and just black triple dark space, right? And eventually it got to a point to where it just has its own magnetic waves around it, it's doing its own thing, and then it becomes what it is, and then creation starts and energies get put to it to where, you got earth, you got the waters, you got the fires and things of that nature. So you got to get into the alchemical side of things too, because they don't teach you about ether, which is another one of the main elements, which is really the main element, because ether is in you. It's inside of your melanin, inside of your neuromelanin, which is inside of your brain, which is why I have this pine cone here, because this is a representation of your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is what they call the third eye. All right. Boom. So you got this dot, and you got the black sun, right? You got atoms, and smaller than that, boom, 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 boom. So in the first dimension would be like a piece of paper, or boom. So they get out of the first dimension, go to the second, and then they get to the third, which is physical reality, coming from the dirt, right? Adam and Eve, you could say they came from the dirt, right? And y'all have to understand, when Adam and Eve came about, people were already on the earth. Like, that's why when Cain, the son of Adam, was cursed, he basically, when he was banished, obviously there had to be more people, because when he was banished, he said that, they said that he was basically, cursed upon, and they said whoever would kill him would get sevenfold upon, for killing him. And the earth cried out, the earth is alive. All right, boom. So obviously there's more people than Adam and Eve, because when Cain was casted out, he was a vagabond, a fugitive. And, they said whoever found him would pretty much, suffer the same fate if they was to kill him. So you have to understand that there was more than just Adam and Eve on earth. And you could just use that as a reference. You could say it's multiple Adam and Eves, whatever the case may be. But you have a specific Adam and Eve, which was basically used for the man that was made in our image today. The man that was made in our image today isn't, I guess you could say, us. Like, we became man, right? We made man in our image, blah, blah, blah. So we used different DNA of different things to create man. And then we did the experiment, basically, again, to the point to where we created another man, essentially. And you have to go back before these texts to get a deeper understanding of this, because you have ancient Sumerian texts which talk about this as well. And they basically talk about, how there was experimentations on the planet Mars and a lot of other planets out there. Because if you look, you could find the face of a man on Mars. And then you got the Dogon tribe, which is in Africa, right? The Dogon tribe is basically one of the first tribes of this planet that had contact with extraterrestrial life forms. And the Dogon tribe, basically, the life form that they met were reptilian in appearance, right? They were basically reptilian humanoids. So the reason why they tell you about dinosaurs in school is really an analogy. All right, so let's go back to the Bible. Now they say when, Lucifer basically was in the garden and tempted Eve to eat the apple, he was in the form of a serpent, but not just a snake, a dragon, because when they say that they basically say that God punishes him or whatever. God is the title, remember. So this is one person out of the many people punishing him. They make him, do what a snake does. So it doesn't have any arms or legs anymore. When I read that scripture as a little kid, I was like, oh shit. So he had to be like a snake. A dragon, because if he's doing what a snake does now, he was the ancestor of that. So I realized, oh, it's talking about dragons, which is why medieval times, or even further back than that, or even in Asia, you got a lot of talk about dragons. And, the dragon really relates to that kind of energy, but not just, him, because, there's other dragons in the universe. So don't look at the dragon as just something negative, because You know, that's just what's in us. Like I said, the Dogon people mixed with these reptilian humanoids. And then we basically had reptilian DNA. So then all over the planet Earth, pretty much, you know, you could go to any like major culture and you'll see like a lot of cultures have actually had contact with what you would call extraterrestrial. And you have to break down the meaning of that. Extraterrestrial, Terra is another name for Earth. So all it's saying is just a being basically not from Earth. It's just extra terra astral. And astral, so it has to do with 4D. We're on the third dimension right now. And then you get to the 4D, 5th, 6th, so on and so forth, till about like 11, 12, and yeah. But yeah, you have to realize human beings weren't just, that's why in Egypt, like you see like dog head with Anubis and Osiris, like all these different forms of these different gods. It's just a lot of information I don't know, and when y'all get to it, y'all think it's demonic or whatever. You have to break the fear, because boom, right? If God is protecting you, watching over you, you should be able to do what you want to do because he's protecting you, right? So if you want to study Satanism, right? For instance, I don't study Satanism. I'm just using this as an analogy. If you want to study Satanism detachedly, like you study it, but you're not attached to it. Like you study it, but you're learning it. You're learning the ways of it, but you don't become engulfed into it. You know, then God got you, right? Because that's just according to your Bible. This is why I'm speaking on the Bible so much, because I know a lot of scriptures that corroborate certain things, but I don't get the deeper understanding of it, right? So basically, Lucifer basically put his DNA, Luciferian DNA, inside of that new human being, which is why you got some people who got, like, look at my fingers right now, like, it's webbed. You got some people who literally who have DNA from people that literally come from Earth. That's why I said come from Earth earlier, because of Dogon. You have people living in the waters already. People were in the waters before they came down, because they manifested from the waters, but they also came down. See, this is, you get into like timelines and a whole bunch of shit, like different timelines, time travel, a lot of things, because they came down because they had to go basically travel back in time. But I'm gonna get into that later in the video. So these Elohim, you have a group of these Elohim which are called the Anunnaki, and that's you can read about them in ancient Sumeria. You got Murdoch. See, when you study religion and you study these things, you can realize like the connection, like between angels and different gods' names, and realize like this is talking about the same person, and you'll be like, oh shit, it's basically the same exact thing, just in this culture, religion, etc. Which is why I have the Eye of Ra. This is God, like I am God. I see God, like my eye is God. Like it's the sun. The sun is God. The sun gives you light every day. It gives the earth every day. And, you know, people talk about sun worship, blah, 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 Sunday, blah, 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 blah. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit, because y'all don't even know what y'all talking about for real. Y'all think everything is demonic because it doesn't follow what your Bible say. But before the Bible, what were you worshiping? You don't even know. You don't even know your native language. And you don't even know where you come from, because you got people saying they don't even come from Africa but be black. And then you got people who don't even know that we was already natives in America anyway. So you got the slave trade, which brought more Africans over, but there was already people that was black already that came over here already. So the slave trade was just something additional to something that was already happening. We basically brought these problems that we have about ourselves, and I'm gonna get deeper into that. So then you got God in the Bible, who in the Old Testament, he's more jealous. In the New Testament, he's less jealous, which is why Christianity makes that decision, which leads them to worshiping another God than that's in the Old Testament. Because God says he never changes, right? But he actually does. In the Old Testament, he's like, yeah, make these sacrifices for me. He got y'all killing all types of animals with no remorse. He got, what's his name, to damn near kill his own son to prove his loyalty to him. Like, when I read that, I'm like, yo, this is fucked up. But y'all are in a fear mind state to where something y'all don't even know exists for a fact has you in fear to where it's like, I don't even want to question it because look what I'm reading right now. Like, at least for me, right? Like back in the days when I was little, reading that shit, like, yo, damn, this God dude is a scary motherfucker talking about sacrificing people, blood, and doing all this. Then you switch to the New Testament, he ain't about none of that no more. He's like, yeah, not what Jesus is, because he's telling you to drink his blood and eat my flesh and all that shit. So y'all gotta realize the distinction. So when I was talking about dinosaurs and reptilians, y'all gotta understand like how deep this shit goes, because them people who got you worshiping these people is the same people that killed Yeshua. Yeshua is Jesus' real name. These are so-called killed him, because me personally, I don't think he died. I believe that he ascended and left a group of children here and just ascended out of his way. I don't think he died, because they tell you he rose on the third day, but you know, it is what it is. Because see, this is the more funny part about that, right? He rose on the third day, left. No, they killed him, right? They fucking killed him. He left and didn't come back and said he's gonna come back, and y'all convinced he's gonna come back. Even though he's seen all the shit that was going on earth, he was like, damn, motherfuckers getting raped, motherfuckers getting killed, motherfuckers getting blah, 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 blah. Motherfuckers killed him. He rose on the third day and was just like, nah, I ain't fucking with none of this. I'm out. And just left y'all ass. And y'all convinced that he's coming back to save y'all. Meanwhile, Christianity's also saying y'all in grace. Like, that makes no sense. If y'all in grace and he's coming back to save y'all, like, what does that even mean? So either he's ignoring the bad shit y'all doing, the sinful shit y'all doing, so-called sinful shit y'all doing, or he's like, yeah, either way, he's ignoring it because he's seen it and was just like, nah, I'm out. Boom. Went to heaven, ascended. He calling with fucking Adafa, all them people who done ascended. Adafa is, I believe that's Enoch, not Noah. But yeah. Anyway, boom. And then y'all get to the Great Flood and shit. See, the Great Flood confuses you a lot. I ain't even gonna get into that, because that's just, nah, because come on now. Motherfuckers got you. Whatever. I ain't getting into that. But see, y'all can't really prove. See, I use Bible scripture to prove something that basically proves itself, in terms of like, y'all will read something from the Bible that's like, it corroborates itself, but in terms of the real world, it doesn't really like mesh, or even logically it doesn't even mesh to where it's like, yo, that doesn't make sense. Like I was just saying, like, yo, y'all think the same dude that y'all killed, who rose on the third day and was like, seen all this shit, got killed by y'all, seen all this shit and left, is gonna come back. So y'all telling me he's waiting 2,000 years to come back? Yeah, y'all lost me. Y'all lost me there. But that's besides the point. Yeah. You feel me? Like, shit don't make sense. What is it about to get into? Yeah. Anyway. Let's talk about science and religion now. Like, certain sciences, see me, I study occult and metaphysics. Certain sciences and certain things from religion actually corroborate each other, right? And if people could make bridge the gap between like science and religion, then I feel like we would come a lot further as people. Like I was just talking to this dude the other day, and he just said something that was like real shit. Like, he was like, yeah, me personally, like, he just had me put myself in like just another being's shoes. Like, if we was ants, like, what would our notion of God be? Like, we wouldn't have the same rituals and things of that nature. Like, be it, you know, if we was a whale a fucking bee or a bear. Like, we wouldn't have these same rituals to God that we do as human beings. So it's like, does God exist, or is that something that was placed in our head to where, you feel me? Like, in my opinion, God is nature. Like, the trees, the leaves, everything that exists is nature. Yo, I just watched this movie, Sorcerer's Party. I know I'm late, but yo, y'all gotta watch that movie, because I seen that movie recently. I thought it was just gonna be perverted. That's why I never watched it. I was like, this gonna be some nasty ass, because I seen the trailer. I was like, fuck no. And then I heard, but I was like, fuck no. But nah, that shit is low-key real as a bitch, because I've been fasting from meat lately, and watching that movie is just like, yo, shit fucked up. Because Sorcerer's Party, I'm gonna break down the esoteric meaning of that movie right now, matter of fact. Because you got a rapture that people think is going on, which is never stated in the Bible. They never talk about the rapture. They talk about the 144,000, but no, they got y'all fucked up. And this is what Sorcerer's Party actually covers. Sorcerer's Party is made by a lot of Jewish people, and Jews always know the truth. You can watch Family Guy, you can watch whatever. Rothschilds, you know, they all got that royal blood. But boom, in Sorcerer's Party, the main concept was, you know, the food. They will basically worship God. Humans are their God, right? And they think, yeah, once we go to the great beyond, we good. Boom. Whole times, motherfuckers go to the great beyond and get ate. Niggas eating hot dogs, burgers, everything in that movie, right? Just like real life. The difference is that shit is alive, though. So it just put it in another perspective to where, in layman's terms, you are the sources, right? You're the sources in the party, boom. And your bitch is the bun, boom. No freak, because that movie is freaky, low-key, but shit crazy. Like, who the fuck thought it thinks of these concepts like this? But they thinking it's gonna be lollipops and rainbows, blah, blah, blah. So the dude takes some bath salts, right? They get the groceries and shit. I'm sorry, I'm going on a little tangent. But they get the groceries, he gets the bath salts, he takes the shit, starts tweaking. He like, yo, the food start coming alive. Like, basically he sees the food from another perspective. And think about this, right? They even tell you, like they said, because then they do the same trick to the rest of the people in the grocery store, because they end up going back to the grocery store to give bath salts to everybody, and they start to see the food like, oh shit, the food is alive. Which I need to understand, because meat has energy to it, which is why in the Bible they tell you to do all these sacrifices, because it has energy that's been built up. Like, your body has energy that's been built up, which is why they get you scared a lot. You know, they got your heart racing. They like you to be in that fear mind state. So when it's time to feed on you, because best believe it's motherfucking cannibals in this bitch. Because y'all know, y'all probably watched that Jeffrey Dahmer. No, it's way bigger than y'all think it is. That's why they was putting it out there like that. Because me personally, I think it's to the point to where motherfuckers probably eating humans at McDonald's and Burger King and shit like that, recycled. Like, I don't even know which I eat, because it's damn near 8 billion people on the planet, so they say. So ain't no motherfucking way is that many cows for this many years if people was eating burgers and hot dogs before I was even born, which is 2003. The motherfuckers been eating this shit since the 50s and so on and so forth. Like, nah. But basically, they was like, yeah, so now the humans could see in the 4th dimension. And once they seen in the 4th dimension, they could see that the food was alive, which is similar to experiences I've had on shrooms. I realized, oh shit, that nature is alive, the leaves are alive. You feel me? It just doesn't operate the same way that you do as a human being. And then at the end of the movie, they even got more metaphysical, to where they was like, oh yeah, I found the even greater secret. They was naming the actors that played the fucking sausages, and was like, yeah, this is from the 5th dimension. We are actually being watched by somebody for comedic gain. Like, they basically realized that they was in the movie at the end. So then you get back to Lucifer, right? Lucifer, the son of the morning star. So like I was saying in Sorcerer's Party, right? How they basically was praising the gods to get ate by them, and they didn't know. Which is why I'm talking about this rapture, because these demons are actually trying to take y'all up. They're gonna confuse y'all real soon. That's why they've been talking about UFOs lately, because you have, no, I'm gonna say an IFO, because these motherfuckers is not unidentified flying objects. These motherfuckers is identified flying objects that y'all just don't know. All right. Back in the day, I hope y'all understand this, because they not even hiding the truth from y'all no more, because they're saying it's UFOs flying around on the news now. So I hope, y'all could get past this part. The reason why I've been bringing up fictitious things is because when people listen to fictitious things, they don't get offended because it's fictitious. So, like, there's this game Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, and Liu Kang, the main character of Mortal Kombat, he's a god now, and I'm pretty sure that's not offending any Christian, that's not offending any Buddhist, or whatever your religion may be, because it's fictitious. It didn't offend y'all in Avengers Infinity War when Thanos basically became God, right? So, yeah, back to what I was saying, and why I said a IFO, because back in the day, see, there's a lot of extraterrestrial races people don't know about. Basically, back in the day, a certain group of aliens came and spoke to the government, right? You gotta understand, like, ETs are really smart, like really smart. That's why they don't show themselves to just anyone. That's why certain ETs mess with certain races. Like, that's actually the thing. That's why do you think y'all be hearing, like, I heard Paul Mooney say this, and I was like, yo, that's facts though. He was like, white people always seeing extraterrestrials and shit, blah blah blah, but white people mainly be seeing like the Greys, you feel me, shit like that. But basically, they came to the government and they basically was trying to prevent them from going to war with Russia, etc. So they spoke to them, blah blah blah, and then you had this other group. You got the draconian reptilian, which is basically a reptile that is more attuned to meat eating. And the draconian reptilian basically made a pact with the government to where, we could, in exchange, basically, like, we'll take some human beings and we'll give y'all technology, which is why I said IFOs, because these are identified flying objects made by the government. The government has way more technology than you know. They just put it out little by little by little. Y'all think these phones is new? No. Motherfuckers is at least 10 years more advanced than y'all think they is. Probably even further with all these extraterrestrials. But like I said, this rapture that y'all think is going on is not, no. Don't even fall for this shit, because y'all gonna be seeing, y'all gotta read this book called Project Bluebeam. Y'all basically gonna think, y'all Messiah's coming back. Y'all gonna be looking in the sky. Motherfuckers gonna take y'all gonna think y'all going to heaven. No, motherfuckers about to eat you. It's gonna be just like the Great Beyond from Sources Party. And that's where motherfuckers is fucked up at. And this shit probably sounds wild to y'all, but bro, I'm telling y'all, like, shit really get wicked out here. Ain't no such thing as coincidence. And ain't no thing as just a comedy movie. Like, all this shit be real shit that y'all just don't know about, because y'all haven't been inducted to know the information, basically, whether it be by another living being or it be by extraterrestrial entity that's actually in you. Like, I've spoken to ETs that are just, just really, it's just another version of me, like the Anunnaki. Like, I was talking about the fallen ones, and the other ones, you got the cherubim and the seraphim. Like, I've been talking to Melchizedek, Malachi, or Saint Michael in the Bible, or Murdoch in ancient Samaria. See, once you get to realizing these gods' different names, you get to connect the pieces. But he's basically been my number one, sticking with me since I was like really, really little on some shit, like really little. And he's a green dragon. That's one of his forms, at least. And he's basically Lucifer's twin. Malachi is Lucifer's twin. And you have to understand, like, certain people have reincarnated here for past karma. The majority of the people have reincarnated for past karma. And if you get to the point to developing yourself, you'll be able to realize who you were in a past life. Like, it just be getting wicked. Like, y'all think shit is cap because y'all don't see, people don't have this. They don't have this. They don't have this because it's been being calcified by y'all fluoride toothpaste, the bullshit food y'all eat, which be giving y'all nightmares, and a whole bunch of things like the rays that come out of your iPhone or your TV, or just not getting enough sunlight. All of them things add up, and then it just calcifies your pineal gland to where it's like boom. Motherfuckers can't even use their third eye to see what's actually going on. They can only see what's in the physical. They don't understand the metaphysical aspect. Right? Look at this camera right now. Spiritually, I can see this is behind me, despite the fact that I'm not looking at it. In the camera, I'm looking at it. But even if the camera wasn't there, spiritually, I would know it's behind me, whether or not I was looking at it. And then this camera just adds that. See, technology is just a reflection of life anyway. So basically, when they came down, the Anunnaki came down, they came back in time, because the Anunnaki are basically our future selves, and they fucked up because they basically made artificial intelligence. They made AI, and they advanced AI, and they used AI to basically develop themselves into higher dimensions, basically. And that's where they fucked up at. So we going back in time to a certain timeline. Now, certain beings aren't happy that we did this. They're not happy that we went back in time to this specific point in time to do what we're doing. But it is what it is, I guess. So you just really need to just look within yourself. But I just hope this reaches a certain group of people, because this just isn't for everybody. Like, this world, bro, it's so much shit I could really just throw on y'all, but I know if I just throw it on y'all, motherfuckers gonna be looking at me wild or all types of shit. Meanwhile, it's just straight facts. Like, it's just straight facts. Like, whether y'all want to believe it or not, it's facts. And I'm just trying to help y'all, to warn y'all from when this time comes, because yeah, you feel me? Like, God is you. Like, you are God. And it's funny that another human being could tell you that, but you won't believe it, because something you haven't seen is telling you otherwise, right? And this is where y'all get fucked up at, fucking up with these ghost spirit forces, because they are having power over you, besides the fact that they're not actually here. Like, it's just the institution at this point to where, oh, motherfuckers saying I'm God. I ain't God. Boy, what? God in the sky. Boy, I pray to God every day. No. Whole time you don't even know who you praying to, because God is just a title, and that's not even his real name. And then you get to the Israelite stage, right? Boom. You start as a Christian, you get to the Israelite stage. Boom. His name is Yahweh. He's black. You got Yahweh Shai. Boom, 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 boom. Whole time, no, that's not it either. That's part of the truth, but that's not the whole truth. You feel me? Like, that's just part of the truth. It's not the whole truth. They wanted us to settle by, like, oh yeah, everybody in the Bible black. They wanted you to settle right there. See, they was still trying to fuck you up. They raised your degrees to where you realize people in the Bible was black, and had you settle there and just think, all right, boom, God is black, we good. Meanwhile, shit still fucked up going on around here. So no, we not good. We're not good at all. We're not good at all. Like, no. See, in this world, you have free will, and you have accountability. You have to take self-accountability at all times. You have to take self-accountability at all times. That's what Adam and Eve is really about. It's just taking accountability and waking up to knowledge, and, you know, losing the part of yourself, but also just, you got free will now. Like, you have the control. The Anunnaki created human beings to see where we would go. They gave us a lot of extraterrestrial DNA to see where we would go in the future. Angels, if you want to call them that. You could call them angels. It's the same thing, basically. It's just another title for the same thing. Like Gabriel, Uriel, like all these angels that I can name that I've been contacted with, they're just Anunnaki with different titles and, you know, shit like that. Different forms. Like, you could manifest them they can manifest in the 3D as a human being, but you know, there's higher dimensions than what you are. Like, this is just the form I'm in this lifetime. Meanwhile, I'm on another planet green, and I'm on another planet blue, and I'm on another planet as a fucking dragon. Like, you feel me? Like, it's all mental. And when you have access to this, you can dead ass create worlds. Like, you can dead ass create worlds, because when you was a kid, you had all that imagination. I'm already knowing, like, you had all that imagination, but as you got older, and like I said, all the things that they did to poison this got you fucked up, because now you just, let me work a 9 to 5, let me be a slave and just settle. Basically, let me just be a slave and settle. But I understand it all, because it's like, if our ancestors didn't, let me tell y'all what life is really about right now. What life is really, really about right now. See, God basically wants to look at itself objectively. And the only way to do that is to forget that you are God. Because if you're God and you're all powerful, like, nothing can stop you. But you got to look at it from the point of, like, me personally, this is what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to really just break it down for y'all. Because I'm going to just give y'all what it is from God. And you can do this too. Because you can just go into yourself and have these realizations and create the same way I do. If I'm God, right? And I'm letting this earthling thing. When I say God, that's the accumulation of all of the Elohim. Like, you know, the divine unity. One consciousness. See, y'all fucked up. It's not more than one conscious. We're just all conscious. It's like a beehive, right? It's like a beehive. You got the queen bee, and all the bees are just her. So you got me, you got you, but we're all just the same shit. So if I'm God and I'm letting all this shit happen right now, you know, motherfuckers getting killed, motherfuckers getting raped, motherfuckers doing all this suffering and all this shit, but I would have to see what I'm doing is wrong or right. I would have to manifest myself as one of the creations, right? I would basically have to go to the 3D and become a human being to realize, all right, maybe this shit is fucked up, because from the part that I'm at, you know, everything, it's not the same there. So I basically have to come down here and look at myself objectively to realize right and wrong, and that's chaos and order. Thus, the snake eats itself. Like, it just restarts, the cycle restarts from the beginning, because we're basically at the end of time. We're in the last universe, the last planet, you know, we're at the end of time. The snake basically eats itself and the cycle restarts all over. And depending on how developed you are, it depends on where you will go next. You just ascend and realize who you are and the powers that you have. Because can't nobody really fuck with you for real. Like, can't nobody really fuck with you unless you let them fuck with you. Like, literally. Unless you let them fuck with you, they can't fuck with you. Nothing can fuck with you unless you let it. And that's just what life is. So y'all let these spirit forces take you over instead of actually doing some logical thinking. Like, y'all don't think logically when it comes to, like, the Bible. Y'all just think it is what it is and take it as it is. Like, that'd be like if I... Nah, I'm gonna give y'all a better example. It's just the same way I do money, right? Motherfuckers go to the store and be like, yo, honey bun $1 now? Honey bun used to be 50 cents. But motherfuckers is taking it. They're like, fuck it, I'ma still pay the $1, even though it used to be 50 cents. Let Arizona be at $2 one day. I bet motherfuckers will still pay this shit. You feel me? Like, y'all just let it be what it is. Like, y'all just let it be what it is. Y'all don't take the power to see what it is for yourself. Like, y'all restrict yourself because of whatever the case may be. But it's like, you could pray to your God all you want, but, you know, you will have to give something in return. Like, that's just how it is working with any entity, whether it be like, I don't even want to tell y'all that, who I be working with. Other beings that I be working with. besides who I already said. But you feel me? Because y'all gonna be like losing y'all shit. But yeah. Damn, I don't know, my nose is mad itchy, scratchy today. But you feel me? Like, you just gotta go on this shit yourself and just, activate, your DNA, activate who you are, because everybody, sadly, on this earth is not the same. And that's just what it is. You feel me? Like, you got the god Enki, EA, Earth. He only fucks with black people. And then you got his brother Enlil, who he doesn't really care. Like, he'll fuck with anybody, basically. And like I said, you got the gray aliens who used to be abducting white people. See, this is the thing when it comes to timelines, because it's really confusing to y'all, probably, but you gotta understand, like, time is a construct. So you got these beings called Pleiadians, and if you get into like Scientology and shit like that, you'll get into that. But see, when they talk about extraterrestrials, they never talk about the black ones, even though they spotted those. Like, they said they seen black beings get off of UFOs, but they mainly talk about the white ones. So Pleiadians are basically white people that come from another constellation who've mixed with gray aliens, and they come from another timeline, and they came back here, boom. Now, most of them, that ancestry, you could call them the tall whites. Most of them are pretty much dead now. They're extinct, and they mix with the Canaanites, and they mix with the Flugarides. So the Canaanites were basically a group of black people, and there are some dark-skinned Canaanites who came, like Cain. Cain was cursed to have leprosy. He was cursed to be an albino. And then that's where the Canaanites come from. They were basically albino black people who have been cursed. And then you got the Flugarides, who was grafted, basically. Grafted from the black man, but also from the Hindu, the black straight hair Hindu. And then you get the Flugaride, which is basically the Neanderthal. So you see, when you get into messing with these other races, you got to really understand what's going on. Like, the Hindu people, for example, have a lot of fallen Anunnaki. Like, the blue depiction that they show you isn't just blue. It's dark. It's like it's black too. Like, that's just what they depict it as. But with Claudia Silver, you could turn blue or poison, certain things, or just from the galaxy they come from, which is Procyon, but they are straight-haired beings, basically. They were straight-haired black beings, just like me and you, just with straight hair, because they're fallen, and their ethers, they basically lost their DNA. When you go against God, you lose your DNA, basically, is what I'm saying to y'all, which is why white people cannot take the sun, because they've strayed so far from what God is that they are where they're at now. And that's why they got you worshiping their God, because if they killed Yeshua, or if he ascended, they're basically using your own against you. Like Yeshua, or if you want to go to Buddha, because Buddha's black, but that's a whole nother thing. Black Asiatic, like he's black from Asia, and he's Asian, you feel me? Like, y'all gotta understand, like, no matter where you go in the world, there's black people who originated there, wherever. So, damn, what the fuck was, yeah. Basically, they using your own people against you. So then they paint Jesus white. They call him Jesus Christ, which is from Zeus, Jesus, Jesus. That's what they call him. They call him that in Spanish. Yeah. So they made him white. They whitewashed him. They whitewashed the angels. They whitewashed everything, basically. And they got you worshiping their God that doesn't exist, because Yeshua exists, right? Don't get me wrong. Yeshua exists. Jesus Christ, however, does not exist, because he comes from their, see, white people, they don't come from like as high as dimension as we do. So things like Jesus or Iron Man or Superman don't exist on the same level as Yeshua or Melchizedek or Mayat. or, you know, gods like those who you could contact with and work with. It's just like a spirit force, you know. It's just a force that, you know, got you fucked up, and that they use to feed off of you to keep this matrix basically going, which is why they have things like cemeteries when we didn't used to bury our dead like that, because you don't even die when you die. You supposed to ascend, but they don't teach you these ancient mysteries anymore. So they got you thinking death is the end all be all, and then you either go burn in hell or you go to heaven, which is even more fucked up, because it's like, damn, God, if I never read the Bible before, I'm still going to hell because I didn't worship you, but I don't even know who you are. What are you talking about? And this is another thing about Christians. Like, if y'all didn't have the Bible, what would y'all connection to God be like? Like, what would it be like? Explain that shit to me, because I can't fathom it, because y'all don't actually have a connection to what y'all would call God, or what God actually is. Y'all just quote scriptures, but it's like, yo, the whole time I could make a Bible today. I could make the Book of Zion today, because I went through real shit. Motherfuckers like Timothy, motherfucking Paul, all these human beings who wrote, bitch, I could do the same shit like them. So y'all just taking another man's word that y'all never seen from however many years ago and running with it instead of doing your own research. Even the shit I'm saying, question what I'm saying. I want y'all to question what I'm saying, and don't even take what I'm saying, you know, to the head. Actually research that shit and come to your own conclusion about if what I'm saying is true. You feel me? That's what all great teachers say. Like, it's just, you feel me? I ain't trying to bullshit y'all. I'm just bringing this shit to the internet because it's like, I'm tired of living in this matrix, keep it real. I just wish like a million black people came together and we just sat in a circle and just broke this shit. Like, boom, divine unity, consciousness. Like, nah, we ain't living on this earth the way it is no more. Fuck that shit. We about to, first thing we about to do, we about to shut off the technology, and then, yeah, we about to break this fake ass shit that's in the air. That shit ain't even real. That's a fucking hologram. The sun is a hologram, the moon is a hologram, but ignore that. That's a joke. That's a little jokey joke. But for the ones who know, y'all know. That's why Rod, it's the black sun. It's the sun behind the sun. I seen this shit in my dreams too. Like, I don't be bullshitting. Like, I be, when I be having them dreams, that be like, you feel me? Like, actually projecting sometimes, it just be like real shit. Like, I seen Atlantis. Like, I know Atlantis is real. Like, bro, shit just be getting deep as fuck, bro. Shit just be getting deep as a bitch. And I just want y'all to come to your own conclusions about this shit, and don't be relying on these motherfuckers that y'all never seen before. Rely on motherfuckers that you could actually meditate down and make a contract with, or contact, because you can make a contract with them and work with them, and they'll help you do what you got to do, you know, as long as you abide by that contract. But y'all got to realize that them entities is basically equal to you. Like, you're equal to that entity. So when you talk to it, you know, whatever the case may be, just develop your conscience to the point to know thyself, to know that you are God. So when you contact these entities, they don't try and fuck you over, because you don't know who the fuck you are, and they do. So it's like, you feel me? But yeah, shit. Yeah. I don't even know. Like, that's basically all I had to say today. Shit, I would love to talk to y'all. You feel me? Comment, leave a comment. My Instagram and my Facebook, the same thing. So if y'all see this and want to talk to me, y'all could contact me. Don't be on no bullshit, because I was just on Facebook the other day, and here you go with motherfuckers being offended and want to not even add nothing to, like, they just want to, I don't even know, motherfuckers be weird. Motherfuckers move just like the Bible teach y'all to move, because motherfuckers was going to war in the Bible, motherfuckers was killing, doing mad extra shit that is just crazy. But you feel me? Like, motherfuckers doing all this extra Babylonian shit. Like, bruh, why is you arguing with me instead of actually having a conversation? Like, you're not asking me a question, you're just like, bro, I was like, yeah, the sky is fake. I was like, motherfuckers is spraying this shit with O2, and shorty gonna say, oh, you must be getting sprayed with some of that stuff too. Bitch, I brought that shit up. How the fuck does that make sense? See, motherfuckers just be ignorant as a bitch saying anything, because if I'm the one who brought that shit up in the first place, even if I was affected by it, does that make it any less true? Like, motherfuckers don't be trying to ask questions. Motherfuckers just be trying to get offended and just be in their feelings or whatever the case may be. But I'm trying to have intellectual conversations, because then she said, how do you know what you're saying is true? And I listed a reply, and I just deleted this shit, because I'm like, we not friends on the book, for one. And two, you're not actually here to learn. You're just here to chastise me for what your beliefs. And meanwhile, I've been ascended past that realm of thinking at 13. Like, I done been studied what you studied and went past that. Like, bro, Israelites can't be telling me shit no more. Like, no, I'm way past that. But I'm gonna just leave this on a peaceful note. Love, peace, Ashe. Do your thing, God. And if you're a human being, just help us. Like, literally, just help us. Don't be on no bullshit, because we don't got time for it. And you definitely don't got time for it either, because your time is really coming. And that appointed time is really coming, and y'all know it's coming too. Peace and blessings.